Information tonight in a Kane In Your Corner investigation into a sanctuary for wolf-dog hybrids in Jackson. The president of Howling Woods Farm says his animals get all the food they want. But News 12 senior investigative reporter Walt Kane has obtained internal messages that shed light on just how much the animals are and are not fed.
The wolf dogs at Howling Woods Farm don't get fed every day. Sometimes they're not fed for days at a time. Those are the orders of the farm's president, Michael Hadanish. And our Kane In Your Corner investigation found insiders at the farm were concerned.
We started to see some very concerning health problems, animals looking emaciated.
Keith Vanderbrook was so worried he filed a complaint with the USDA. Hadanish fired him. He and two other former employees are suing for wrongful termination. And the farm's feeding policy isn't legal. The Animal Welfare Act says dogs, including hybrids, must be fed at least once a day, unless a veterinarian says otherwise.
Did a veterinarian order every other day?
No.
But since our story aired, Hadanish has been defending his policy, claiming his dogs get all the food they want.
Instead of giving them, a little bit every day, we just give them a lot, as much as they can eat.
But insiders say Hadanish's claim that the animals are given as much food as they can eat is simply not true.
When I was there, they were getting two chicken quarters. I definitely wouldn't say that's as much as they could possibly eat.
1 or 2 quarters is sufficient, according to him.
Internal messages show Hadanish repeatedly asking the staff to confirm that animals were only being fed every other day. Here, a staff member says yes, adding ambassadors. The dogs shown on tours get 1 chicken quarter, while those up for adoption get 2. In this post, Hadanish demands the normal feeding schedule. How often are dogs being fed, he asks, and how many pieces of chicken leg quarters do they get? The employee says adoptables used to get 2 a day, but Hadanish cut that back to every other day. She says she sometimes gives a 3rd chicken quarter to a couple of dogs she says are very active. It's a far cry from Hadanish's claim that dogs are getting all they can eat.
It's crazy. It's a crazy atmosphere.
In fact, sources say the animals would be doing worse, except that many staff and volunteers don't follow the policy.
I'm going to tell you right now, that is the only reason they look as half as good as they look. So if everybody blindly followed his orders, these animals would be really sick.
Some animal welfare groups are praising our investigation and saying the USDA or other authorities should take action.
It's never acceptable just to say, okay, well, we're going to go 2 days without feeding the entire population. That's never acceptable.
A veterinarian from American Humane says the farm's feeding policy is indefensible.
If you were wanting to reduce the weight of a wolf dog, you would not want to do it as periods of starvation. You would really want to just adjust their diet more consistently over time.
More than 100,000 people reacted to our investigation on social media. Kathy writes, "Thank you for doing this story. As an animal lover, this is distressing," she says. Maureen adds, "How can anyone do this to an animal? It's just heartbreaking." But William says, "I would say in the wild, they aren't fed every day, and I would assume the state doesn't classify them as pets." He says if these hybrids have a good weight, I don't see the problem. Now, Jackson police have been to Howling Woods 4 times in the past year to investigate animal cruelty, but they have not filed charges. But in light of our investigation, a police spokesman tells me if there are witnesses who have information, police would like to hear from them. As for the USDA, that agency says it has no further comment. Nick?
Well, what about this argument that if they were in the wild, they wouldn't be eating every day anyway?
Well, experts tell me that animals in the wild don't eat every day. They eat every few days, but it's not because of their health. They do it because they have to hunt or scavenge for food. Also, bear in mind, they eat more than 2 chicken quarters every other day. Those chicken quarters have about 150 calories apiece. And again, insiders say the only reason animals are doing as well as they are is that the staff and the volunteers are feeding more than they are supposed to be under the policy.
Well, Kane, we look forward to the next update as well. Thank you.